It is my great pleasure to participate in this wonderful conference, and I'm delighted to hear so much indigenous wisdom, especially from Brazil and from the rainforest and Amazon. And I was in Brazil 2 or 3 times, and I was in the Amazon, and I was sailing in the Amazon River. And that's a great source of wisdom and inspiration for me. And there have been many, many students to Schumacher College from Brazil. I think after the UK, where Schumacher College is, Brazil is the largest number of students coming from Brazil. And so I have a good connection with Brazil, but also I'm a great devotee of the indigenous wisdom all over the world. As you mentioned, apart from many other things, I established Schumacher College because at the moment, our educational system is out of date. This educational system we have today, schools, colleges, and universities, they were designed in the 19th and the 20th century. At that time, there was an industrial revolution, scientific revolution, and people thought that industry and economy and making money and profit, that is the purpose of life. And the nature is only a resource for making profit. So nature has become a resource for more production, more consumption, more economic growth, more profit. And that system has not only stayed with nature as a resource for the economy, but also humans are also a resource for the economy. In most businesses and government departments, everywhere, all organizations, you have something called HR, which means human resources. So humans have become a resource for profit, for production, for consumption, for economic growth. So nature is a resource for the economy, and humans are also a resource for the economy. Now, that has brought a tremendous catastrophe in our time. Biodiversity is diminishing, our oceans are polluted, and we are facing climate change, carbon emission. In this situation, we need to change our educational system. Now, when you go to university or school or college, a teacher will look at you, and the teacher will think that you have no body. The students, the young people coming to school or university have no body. They have only brain. No hands, no hearts, no legs, nothing else, just a brain. And even not the whole brain, but the half brain. Because neuroscientists say that we have 2 hemispheres of the brain. The left hemisphere is the hemisphere of science, reason, rationality, logic, mathematics, practicality. And the right hemisphere of the brain is for imagination, creativity, spirituality, and compassion. So now our universities and schools and colleges are only training the half brain and nothing else. You have no body and you have only half brain. And millions and millions and billions of pounds and dollars and yens and euros and whatever money you have in your country are spent on just training the half brain. So nature is a resource for the economy. Humans are a resource for the economy. And we are training this half brain to make profit and boost the ego. So from this educational system, we need a new educational system. This is why we have to go back to our wisdom of the indigenous people. They had a whole body education. They had a whole brain education. You develop your practical side, rational side, but you also develop your intuitive side and imaginative side and creative side. So this is why we have started Schumacher College. And at Schumacher College, we say that nature is not a resource for the economy. Nature is the source of life itself. And humans and nature are not separate. Our old educational system teaches us that nature is out there, the mountains, the forests, the animals, the birds, the rivers are nature. And we humans are not nature. We are above nature. We are superior to nature. And nature is only there for our use. So this is a separation between nature and humans. And then humans superior to nature, and nature only as a servant to meet the needs of humans. We are changing that. At Schumacher College, we are saying that taking from the indigenous wisdom from all over the world, Brazil and North America, South America, Aboriginal people, indigenous people in Europe, indigenous people in India, Africa, Kalahari, Bushmen of Kalahari, and many, many other traditional cultures and indigenous cultures have taught us that nature is not nature's source of life, but nature is also our teacher. We have to learn from nature. Science will teach you to learn about nature. But we say, don't learn about nature. Nature is not merely an object to study, but nature is our teacher. Nature is our mentor. And so learn from the trees, learn from the mountains, learn from the rivers. And so our students at Schumacher College will go out in nature. Every day they will engage in gardening. Every day they will go out in the woods, walk along the river, and observe nature, experience nature, what we call deep ecology, deep experience of nature. You cannot protect or conserve nature unless you have a deep experience of nature. You cannot love nature unless you have a deep experience of nature. So having deep experience of nature, you have to go in nature and be in nature. And so at least once a week, we take our students away from the college and go in the hills or by the sea or in the Dartmoor or somewhere. But every day, our students go in nature because Schumacher College is situated by the river and in the woods, in the forest. And we have a garden, 9 acres of garden. And all our students have to learn to grow food and cook together. So that's one important aspect of our education, where nature is as much our teacher. Nature is not a resource for the economy. Nature is source of life, and nature is our teacher. And humans are not a resource for the economy, but humans are nature one, and the economy is in the service of humanity. The well-being of humans and well-being of planet and well-being of nature is central. And the money, profit, production, consumption should be in the service of humanity and maintaining the integrity of nature and maintaining the well-being of humans. That is the most important part. So we call it the education of head, brain, education of heart, and education of hands. Head, heart, and hands. That means whole body. Because we are human beings and we have to cultivate all our faculties: sensing, feeling, intuition, heart, compassion, soul, spirit, love. All these should be part of education. Education is not only about calculating and mathematics and measuring and getting success. Our educational system is, I call, egocentric. Egocentric. Me, my success, my job. How am I going to be successful? How am I going to be powerful? How am I going to get name, fame, prestige, status, position, higher and higher in the career ladder? How am I going to become CEO of a company or a managing director of a company? So it's all ego-centered, me, me, me. So education at Schumacher College is shifting from egocentric to eco-centric. We change G to C, from ego to eco. Now, eco is a very beautiful word, Greek word, which means home. Now, home is a beautiful place and a beautiful concept. In the Greek philosophy, home is not only where you live and where you have your kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living room, but home is the entire planet. The earth is our home. The cosmos is our country. Earth, planet Earth is our common home. Nature is our nationality. And love is our religion. That is the idea of eco. So from egocentric education to eco-centric education, that is the shift we have to make. I think the three questions you raised in inviting me to speak, I think those three questions are very important. And we are addressing those three questions at Schumacher College to create this eco-centric education. And when you have eco-centric education, then you have to be learned in a community. Not just my class and my study and my books, but we work together. So Schumacher College is a small college. Small is beautiful. When you become big, you become bureaucratic. So small is more human, and small can be community. So we have small community where we cook together, we garden together, we eat together, we wash up together, we clean together, and we study together. So intellectual education is good, but not enough. Intellectual, but also we have to have practical education. Head, heart, and hands. This is the transformative learning, what we sometimes call regenerative learning, so that we are able to live in harmony with nature. At the moment, our society is teaching us to control nature, to conquer nature, to subjugate nature. We are saying that those are wrong concepts. Nature is our mother. Nature is our source of life. We have to live in harmony with nature, not conquer nature, but be friends of nature, friends of the earth. That is the beautiful idea, beautiful name, friends of the earth. So this is the basic concept which we have learned from the indigenous cultures. And we have learned from many wise people like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King. Many people in our own time have said the same thing, that we have to find a way of educating our people, which is not just me, but we. From me culture to we culture. We are together. And that we-ness is based in the principle of mutuality. We all co-create and thrive together. All our thriving is mutual. If there is no mutuality, then it becomes egocentric. The moment you bring mutuality, mutual aid, co-creation, mutual aid, that is together community. Because we are not separate. We are not isolated. We are interbeings. We are all interconnected. We are all interrelated. We are interbeings. The moment you realize, then you can celebrate the beauty and the diversity of our beautiful planet Earth. At the moment, we are destroying our diversity. We are destroying biodiversity. We are destroying cultural diversity. We are destroying many different kinds of diversities. And that diversity, we are destroying, and then we are turning into divisions, from diversity to divisions and conflicts. So we have to come back from divisions to diversity, and from uniformity to unity. At the moment, when you destroy diversity, what you are creating is uniformity. Uniform. Wherever you go, whichever country you go to, high-rise buildings of the same kind. Everywhere, Coca-Cola, same kind. Everywhere, blue jeans, Americanization. Everywhere, McDonald's. Everywhere, wherever you go. So mass production, mass consumption, globalization. That has destroyed the diversity of our cultures. So uniformity is not unity. Unity is beautiful, but unity and diversity dance together. Unity and diversity dance together. But when you create division and uniformity, then you have a conflict and destruction. So our education has to be changed for the 21st century, in the age of ecology, in the age of learning to live in harmony with nature. If we can do that and redesign our education and liberate our education from the confines of the classroom and see the whole earth in our classroom, and by learning by doing, learning by making, our present educational system turns or transforms every human being into a consumer. That is a disastrous education, turning every human being into just a mere consumer. At Schumacher College, we say that we are not consumers. We are makers. We make, we build a house, we create food, we make clothes, we make things. And when we have made it, we then use them after making. Participation in the making, using your hands and making something beautiful. Beauty, as one of the presenters talked about beauty, that was lovely. That was music to my ears. Because I think without beauty, there is no life. Nature is beautiful. But our industrial modern systems creating ugliness everywhere. There is no sense of beauty. All our airports and seaports and motorways and highways and city centers and high-rise buildings and modern buildings, high-rise buildings, they're all so ugly. No human scale and no beauty. So we need to bring beauty and regenerative culture and sustainability back into our lives and back into our education. So that is, in a way, I would like to share with you enough today to say that we need to transform our educational system and liberate it from the confines of the universities and colleges and schools, and bring our children back into nature and homes and places where we live together and support each other in mutuality and reciprocity. Reciprocity is another important term at Schumacher College. Everything is reciprocal, reciprocity. We give and take, we receive and give. Gift economy. Charles Eisenstein comes to teach at Schumacher College, and his main teaching is about gift economy. So nature is giving us so much gift, all the fruit and all the vegetables and all the grains and all the air and water and sunshine, everything is a gift. But we have forgotten to make a gift again. We just buy and sell. Everything has become commodity. But nature is not a commodity. Food is not a commodity. These are sacred gifts from nature. And so we must celebrate the gifts, celebrate the diversity, celebrate the mutuality, and then we can create a new revolution, a new revolution. And that is the right word to use, a revolution in our educational system. And I congratulate you for organizing this wonderful conference to discuss about the problems of education and find solutions to this education. So thank you for organizing and creating this conference, and thank you for inviting me to share a few thoughts with you. Thank you.